Most transmissions don't fail from old age. They're slowly being killed by small things drivers ignore every day. The scary part? It's 100% preventable. Trust me, we mechanics genuinely wish you knew these simple secrets. We're here to fix things, but we'd rather help you keep your car on the road and save your money. Today on Make Car Go, we're empowering you with the essential habits for maximum transmission lifespan. The one simple thing you need to do is adopt our monthly inspection routine. That habit alone can save you from a $5,000 average repair bill, or worse, total transmission failure, and the nightmare of a $10,000 plus replacement bill. Do this, and your car's transmission could easily outlive the car itself. Let's dive in. Part 1. The core protocol, fluids, service, and safety. 1. Regular transmission service. Ignore the lifetime myth. The fix. The idea that transmission fluid is lifetime is simply not true in the real world. Your mechanic desperately wants you to ignore that myth. Transmission fluid, ATF, works under tremendous heat and pressure, causing its chemical properties to break down. This process creates abrasive sludge and metal particles that ruin seals and clog internal passages. For most automatics, service should be done every 60,000 to 90,000 miles, sooner if you drive aggressively or tow often. Ignoring this means sludge builds up, starving crucial parts like the valve body. For manuals, the gear oil needs replacement, often around every 90,000 to 100,000 miles. This routine service is cheap insurance that prevents us from having to deliver bad news later. 2. Use the right type of transmission fluid. The fix. Using the wrong fluid is worse than using old fluid. We cannot stress this enough. Each transmission is engineered for fluid with a precise viscosity and additive package. Putting a generic, universal fluid into a modern, complex automatic is a guaranteed way to cause clutch slippage, overheating, and solenoid failure. Always use OEM fluid or a professionally recommended equivalent that meets the exact factory specification. When you bring your car in, your mechanic will verify the specific fluid specification before any service guessing or using non-specified fluid can ruin an entire gearbox in a matter of weeks. 3. Keep an eye on fluid condition. The problem: most newer cars don't have a dipstick, meaning fluid leaks or contamination go unchecked. If you ignore a slow leak, the fluid level drops below the gears and catastrophic failure is imminent because parts are running dry. Furthermore, severe overheating changes the fluid's color and smell. The fix. Dedicate 5 minutes once a month. Look under the car for leaks. If you find one, identify the color. Transmission fluid is typically red, pink, or dark brown black. If you smell a burnt, acrid odor, like burnt toast, your fluid is severely overheated and damaged. Stop driving and see a mechanic immediately. This is the difference between a simple fluid change and a full rebuild. 4. Keep your cooling system in check. The link: heat is the single greatest killer of transmission fluid. Your transmission uses your engine's cooling system, via a heat exchanger, to maintain stable, safe operating temperatures. If your engine coolant is low, dirty, or acidic, it can't draw heat away from the transmission. The result is rapidly cooked, ATF. The fix: ensure your engine coolant level is topped up and changed on schedule. Every 5 years, 100,000 miles. This simple act ensures the transmission cooler can do its job, preserving the life of your expensive fluid. Neglecting engine coolant directly impacts the longevity of your transmission. 5. Schedule regular inspections. The mechanic's role. Even the best DIY driver can't see everything. Professional inspections catch small problems before they turn into major failures. A trusted mechanic will hoist the car and check for leaks at common failure points like the pan gasket, axle seals, and differential fluid levels. They also inspect components like CV joints and U-joints, which, if failed, can shock load the transmission. Schedule a thorough check every year or during a major engine service. We're here to help you prevent the bomb from ticking. Catching a $50 seal leak now saves you from replacing a $10,000 transmission later. Part 2. Driving habits and awareness. The operator's protocol. 6. Practice smooth driving habits. The fix. Your foot is directly connected to the life of your transmission. Smooth acceleration and smooth braking are essential. Avoid jackrabbit starts, which place massive, sudden shock loads on the clutch packs and torque converter. In an automatic driving, smoothly minimizes friction and heat generation. For manuals, smooth driving is crucial for preserving the clutch disc and throwout bearing. 7. Address any issues or sounds promptly. The fix. When your car talks, you need to listen. Any strange noise, hesitation, or rough shift is the transmission sending an SOS. Your mechanics wish you called them earlier. The warning signs. Automatics. A new delay when shifting into drive, harsh engagement, or shuddering during acceleration. Manuals. A grinding noise, a persistent clunk when shifting, or the smell of burning friction material. The action. Stop driving when serious symptoms occur. A slight issue can escalate into a total rebuild if ignored for a few days. Getting it to a trusted mechanic quickly prevents secondary, expensive damage. 8. Drive carefully in extreme conditions. The fix: extreme conditions, towing heavy loads, driving in deep snow, or traversing steep inclines generate massive heat within the transmission. When driving in these conditions, automatics should use the dedicated low gear or manual modes to lock the transmission in a lower gear, e.g. second or low. This prevents constant hunting between gears, which generates massive heat. When in doubt, pull over and let the transmission cool down. 9. Newer vehicles and shift schedules. The reality: newer vehicles have sophisticated controls that allow a transmission to have different shift schedules according to fluid temperatures. The fix: always drive gently until the engine and transmission warm up. When the engine is cold, the computer may intentionally hold shifts longer to warm the fluid quickly. Driving aggressively during this warm-up period works against the computer's logic, generating unnecessary stress and heat. Part 3. Manual transmission and final secrets. 10. Manual. Don't grind it till you find it. Applies to manual. The sound of grinding gears is the sound of your wallet crying. That noise is the synchronizers being chewed up or the teeth of the gears clashing. The fix: if your manual transmission begins to grind, stop driving aggressively and have it checked out by a mechanic immediately before more damage occurs. Every subsequent grind turns a small issue into large, expensive metal debris. 11. Manual clutch discipline. No resting. Do not rest your hand on the shifter while driving. Do not rest your foot on the clutch pedal, riding the clutch. The danger: resting your hand wears out the expensive synchronizers faster. Resting your foot places slight pressure on the clutch linkage, causing the throwout bearing to wear and the clutch disc to slip slightly, generating immense unnecessary heat. 12. Manual. Use the brakes, not the transmission, to slow down. Aggressively downshifting to slow down instead of using the brakes is abusing the transmission's gears and synchronizers. The fix: your brake pads are designed to be a cheap, replaceable wear item. Your transmission is not. Use your brakes to slow down and downshift smoothly only when necessary. 13. The parking brake. Use always with your manual transmission. The fix: always use the parking brake. For manuals, leaving the car in gear without the parking brake places stress on the transmission's internal components, especially if the vehicle shifts its weight or rolls slightly. Use the parking brake to absorb the mechanical load. 14. Drive long enough trips. Applies to automatic and manual transmissions. Short trips are not just engine killers, they are transmission dehydrators. The fluid needs time to reach its optimal operating temperature. The danger: if the fluid never gets hot, moisture from condensation can accumulate inside the gearbox. While your car is sealed against external water, this internal moisture reduces the fluid's protective lubrication quality and leads to internal corrosion. The fix: take your car on a proper drive at least once a week. 20 to 30 minutes on the highway ensures the fluid reaches a stable, protective temperature, helping to preserve your internal components. Note: if water is ever confirmed in your fluid, stop driving and seek immediate repair, as this indicates a serious cooler leak and the fluid must be changed. 15. Bonus: the final secret, the complete stop rule. The myth: automatics don't need input. The truth: your driving behavior influences the transmission computer and longevity. Never shift to drive while still rolling backward and reverse. Always come to a complete stop before shifting between reverse, park, and drive. Shifting while moving is forcing the transmission to stop the inertia of the car. That's what your brakes are for. This single habit prevents massive damage to clutch packs and bands. Notes from the shop for the savvy driver: fluid specification: never guess the fluid type. Automatic transmissions require specific fluids, e.g. Toyota WS, Honda DW1, that contain specialized friction modifiers. Using a generic fluid will cause slippage and failure. Sealed systems: modern transmissions are sealed to keep dirt out. However, if your fluid level needs adjusting, it requires a shop to check the level at a very specific temperature, usually 104 degrees Fahrenheit to 122 degrees Fahrenheit, or 40 degrees Celsius to 50 degrees Celsius. Using a scan tool: it is not a do-it-yourself task. Temperature monitoring: newer vehicles have smart shift schedules tied to fluid temperature. If you drive aggressively when the car is cold, the computer will hold shifts longer, generating more heat. Always drive gently until the engine and transmission warm up. Thanks for watching Make Cargo. The transmission is the most complex and expensive component on your vehicle. But by establishing these 15 simple habits, you empower yourself to keep it running smoothly. And if you like this video, hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more straight talk. Drive safe and take care of your car like it's a part of the family.